So there's this phenomenon. Have you ever had the experience of explaining your problem to someone else when you were stuck and then hitting upon the solution yourself in the process of explaining the problem? This is common. Most people have experienced this. And the funny thing is that it also works if you're explaining your programming problem to somebody who knows nothing about programming. And the crazy thing is that it also works if you're explaining your problem to an inanimate object, such as a rubber duck. Rubberducking was first mentioned as a story in the book The Pragmatic Programmer. It's about a programmer who would carry around an actual rubber duck, and they would debug their code by explaining their problem to the duck. It may sound silly or crazy, but it's an actual technique for solving problems. But fortunately, if you don't want to, you don't have to carry around a rubber duck. You could do it in another way, such as you could find somebody in your favorite chat app, such as Slack. You could start composing a message explaining the context of the problem, then some details of the problem, but never actually sending the message, just keeping it as a draft. You're also triggering your brain into explaining and probably having a very good chance to stumble upon the solution while explaining. It'll probably take longer than verbally explaining, and it might not be feasible for a line-by-line explanation of the problem, but it does work. It works because when you put something into words, you are rewriting your brain. It doesn't matter whether it's speaking or writing. The act of picking words and giving structure to a story creates a better understanding of the thing you're explaining. And this better understanding often yields to different approaches or even the solution. It will not work if you skip steps in explaining. You need to take a tiny bit of time to explain the context, to zoom out a bit, to look at a high-level problem definition. And you also need to take the time to look at the details. And this could be a line-by-line description of the code, especially if you have a sort of algorithmic problem that's really detailed. And this forces you to go through all these small steps again. And in doing so, you have a high chance of actually stumbling upon the problem. But even if it doesn't, worst case, you have prepared yourself really well to quickly explain the problem to somebody else if you do need a human instead of an inanimate object. So next time you have a problem, try explaining it to yourself, to a rubber duck, or to somebody else in a draft message that you never sent. See what happens. And that's it. This was a short one. I hope this was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you have any thoughts or you want me to make a specific video in the future, leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.